Welcome back to Behind the Curtain. In this episode, we're featuring a theater company entering its 5th season in a big way, their first one-man show. Patrick White is here with us right now. Patrick, start by introducing yourself for those who don't know you.
Thanks so much, Giuliana. I'm Patrick White. I was born in Albany, and I've spent 45 years doing professional theater. And I'm an actor, director, producer, reviewer.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the company and the show that we're about to be delving into.
Sure. Harbinger was formed during the pandemic. I had an acting class out of Albany Barn in Arbor Hill. And as soon as there was permission to do performances again, we did a scene night, which we've done regularly with acting class. And then I was like, you know, scene night, let's do a play. So we produced a play in the barn, and it was just everyone had the time, everyone was there. So we just produced it, and I was like, produce a play, let's put together a company. And because of acting class, like our first season, there were 6 shows, and they were all things that we had in our back pocket because we were working on them in class, and we said, oh, let's do that one, let's do that one, we can do that one. And it just came together, and we opened with a play called The Christians by Lucas Nath, and it turned the Albany Barn, which is a former St. Joe's school, and it's now an arts incubator. It turned it into a mega church.
Yeah.
And we had a choir of 14. We had, you know, and it just like transformed the whole space. We had this huge 12-foot screen, and, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it just came together like that, sort of organically. We had all the right elements in place, and we just jumped on the opportunity. And what Harbinger is known for, the play coming up, is A Distant Country Called Youth, and that will be our 19th Capital Region premiere, our 20th production. And this is all since December of 2021.
Incredible, and the interest is there. People want to participate in theater in the Capital Region, and they want to find a company of people to continue working with and growing with. Where your interest first started in Tennessee Williams was back in high school here in the Capital Region.
Yeah, The Glass Menagerie is the first play I ever read. You know, I was kind of a kid, you know, kind of purposeless, you know, not really knowing who I was or where I fit in. And I used to, you know, perform at the dinner table, and I'd be like a class clown. I'd always be throwing stuff in. But there was an opportunity in my creative writing class in 10th grade. He asked who wants to read in this play for the next 2 days. And my hand shot up, and I read Tom in The Glass Menagerie for 2 days. And after it, you know, I was able to like get all this anger out, and, you know, crack wise, but it was in the script. It was all allowed, you know, and I really identified with the play. And I think partially, you know, being a homosexual, I identified with the character, although it's not stated explicitly. I could see myself in him. And after class, like all my classmates were like, man, that was great, that was a lot of fun. And it's like not something that usually happened in class. You know, so it was really like, lights on
transformative for you.
I became an actor. After that, you know, I quit soccer. I, you know, pursued, you know, line and cue at Colony High School, and I took a summer camp. I spent my senior year at the Egg working with the Empire State Youth Theater, and then I directly went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts when I was 17.
Yeah. So this play, a lot of us know The Glass Menagerie. We know that it blurs the lines between what's reality and what isn't. I'm very interested to hear more about this play and whether those themes tie in. We're going to take a quick break, but our conversation with Patrick White continues in just a moment. This is Behind the Curtain. Welcome back to Behind the Curtain. We're sitting down with Patrick White to talk about the first show of the 5th season at Harbinger Theatre, A Distant Country Called Youth. Tell me about this play.
Yeah, it was put together by Steve Lawson. I don't know him from any other play, but it was done like 20 years ago. I believe Richard Thomas did it at Williamstown, and it was done, I think, in some ways as a charity event. Like they would get celebrities. I think Hartford Stage or Longmorph did a number of readings of it, and they would get Campbell Scott or Robert Sean Leonard to come in and read this. It's a collection of letters. Tennessee Williams has 2 volumes of letters that are published, and you can imagine how many are missing. you know? So he was what's the word I'm looking for? A habitual writer. He would get up every morning and write for hours, and some of them were letters. Steve Lawson put this together. It takes place between his teenage years to the opening of Glass Menagerie on Broadway, and the letters are to, the first one is to his sister Rose, who is the model for the character of Laura in the Glass Menagerie, and there are letters to his mother, who he had a fractious relationship with, to his grandparents, who he loved very much, and then his agents, actors, producers, famous people in the theater at the time, Harold Clurman, William Saroyan, and it really it shows you from the age of 17 going through university and, developing, and how he became, Tennessee Williams, and that is not his real name. Right. He was born Thomas Lanier Williams, and he took on the name of Tennessee, and there are a number of stories about how he got that name, but his father, who he had a terrible relationship with, was from Tennessee, and he kind of took that on, which I thought was really interesting. Well,
his takes on family in general, we know are really deep, and they have a lot of meaning to him, and what's interesting is this is going to be great for the theater lover who thinks they know everything about the Glass Menagerie, hearing how he talks to his sister in real life. This was an autobiographical play, essentially. Tell me a little bit about what it's like to be taking it all on as a one-man show. How have you been preparing?
Oh my gosh, a lot of help. Yeah. It's a one-man show, but I've got 3 people in the rehearsal room with me every night. My director, Linda Shirey, assistant director, Stephen Hennell, and stage manager, Kat Capalbo. And besides that, I have a costume designer, Colleen Lovett, and set designer, Megan Ryan, and costumes, Colleen Lovett, and lights, Stephen Wilson. And I have my compatriot, my compadre, is Debbie Bercier, who is helping me learn lines. We schedule 2 hours every day, and we go and we just jam lines into my head. And we do it just step by step. We learn the first line, say it 10 times, learn the second line 10 times, say the 2 lines together, say them 10 times, pick up the 3rd line, and it's just, it's just
repetitive
brutal.
method. Well, it has to be done, right? So that you can go up on stage and think just about the acting and the blocking. Tell people when and where they can see it, how they can get tickets.
Sure. It's going to be at Mopco Improv Theater. It's a first theater for us, and that's kind of exciting. Up in Schenectady on North J Street. It's a beautiful comedy club. They have improv every Friday and Saturday night, and we're one of the first plays, I think, being done in there. Cool. It's going to be, there's a free preview on April 23rd, Thursday night, and then Friday through Sunday, April 24th through 26th, and May 1st through 3rd. Friday and Saturday nights at 7:30, matinees at 2 on Sunday. We have talkbacks on Friday nights. Saturday night, the 26th, we're having a Southern Charm reception. And tickets can be found on Ludus or actingclasswithpatrickwhite.com.
All right, Patrick, thank you so much. We'll be right back after this break once more to discuss the Capital Region, a theater community at large. Stick with us. This is Behind the Curtain. Welcome back to Behind the Curtain. Our discussion with Patrick White continues. You have so many decades of experience in the Capital Region acting community. What is your outlook on the state of affairs right now, as far as the number of opportunities there are and the array of diverse opportunities? What do you think is lacking, and what do you think that we're doing really well at providing not only to actors but to audiences?
Oh, great question. It's never been as large as I've seen it right now. And even since the pandemic, there are theaters opening. I'm not the only theater that was created in the pandemic. Right. There were a couple of others, Bunbury Players and a few others. But yeah, there's theater throughout the community. We were at a production in Copake Grange on Saturday night, and I know Rensselaerville has a theater company, which we love. We go see it often. Fort Salem was created during the pandemic, so it's broadening. It's to all corners of the region, and there's a number of, risky shows being done, which I, appreciate a lot. And I think, there are more opportunities for people, either to attend or to participate in shows that, are beyond,
the mainstream.
That's right.
Yeah. I recently saw Archduke at Capitol Rep. Not a show I would normally see because, on its face, I tend to go to musicals, right, as it is. But, the play had this historical layer to it. I didn't know any of the actors in it. And, as a local person who's into the theater scene, you can become boxed into the people you know and the places you know. Yeah. What is your advice to someone who's trying to support the arts community better?
Oh, my goodness. Thanks. Go see a Harbinger show.
Yes.
But yeah, try something. Like Archduke and their next play, Dodie and Diana,
yes.
Another, regional premiere. And actually, I don't think it's being done much across the country. It's another risky move on Miriam Weisfeld's part, which, thank you.
Yes, to her credit.
Yeah, new stuff. And, part of my theory with Harbinger is, these are tough times in this country. I don't think anyone feels that we're really, at our strongest or at our best right now. And if you're looking for change in the world, make a small move on your own and change your diet, of what you're going to see. Try something new. And I think, through these new plays, that's how, that's how it came from Greece. That was part of building society, was through theater.
Yes.
And getting the ideas out there. Musicals, Crybaby, which
yes.
I think is a regional premiere coming up at Cahoe's Music Hall. That's a step outside.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see it.
Me too. Benita Zahn's going to be in that one,
yeah.
I believe. She's making an appearance. For those of you who have seen Benita Zahn on local TV and also here on Behind the Curtain, we've had her on before, which brings me to something I always say at the end of our episodes, is that if you have an idea, a story within the 518 theater community that you want to get out there, please email me, gbruno@news10.com. Patrick, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, Giuliana. Great to see you.
You too. I'll see you at the next show.
Thank you.
And that's Behind the Curtain for today. Before we say goodbye for the week, here is some intel on upcoming theater auditions in and around the Capital Region. At Fort Salem Theater, the Laramie Project auditions will be held Monday, April 6th from 7 to 10 p.m. Callbacks will be the following day by invitation. And they're also doing Jagged Little Pill, holding auditions April 13th through 14th from 7 to 10 p.m., with callbacks April 15th from 7 to 10 p.m. If Shakespeare is your thing, Hubbard Hall in Cambridge is auditioning for A Midsummer Night's Dream April 6th at 5 p.m. And in Gloversville, Trust Your Gut Productions is holding auditions for Romeo and Juliet. Auditions will be held April 24th by appointment at Shoe Leather Express, 52 Church Street in Gloversville.